They are fighter! Who's next? Shinhan Bank Winners League 08-09. Yeah, baby. It's Ranjan here, coming to you guys from Iceland. As always, bringing you yet another StarCraft commentary. It's going to be my first shot at the new Winners League. This is the set between OGN Sparkyz and the Woongjin Stars that was played on the 18th of January. Ooh, yeah, the new format, for those of you guys that don't know, one person, beat 4 players of the other team, you win. That's it. 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so the name of the game is you can have a maximum of 7 games, and a person wins a match, and then he just goes on to play the next match. So we're going to have a game here between Yellow Arnc of OGN and Guemchi, I think that's how it's pronounced, Guemchi of the Woongjin Stars. Guemchi, a fairly new player, Protoss player, and his stats, he has under 50 games, under 30 games, I believe, for that matter, or around, something like that, around 30 games. So all his stats are about 50%, just under some of them, so I'm not going to look at his stats. Arnc is here playing against the Protoss, so he's he's not the best against Protoss. Well, one of his worst games is just under 50% there. So yeah, this is going to be on Andromeda, and we're going to have Arnc at the 1 o'clock position in blue, and we're going to have Guemchi at the 7 o'clock position in yellow. Players are Zerg and Protoss respectively. Yes. Guemchi starting just right off with a Forge Fast Expand, putting down his pylon just outside his natural. And we're going to see what Arnc's going to go for fairly soon. So yeah, this is a rather Zerg favorite map, because Zergs have been beating Protosses quite a bit on this map. It surprises me a little bit, actually, but at the same time maybe not, because you have that mineral only that you can take inside your base, and there is also a natural that you can take down that goes on down the ramp into the low ground. So right, Arnc going for an overpull into gas. So that's 12 pull 11 extractor for him, and just standard Forge Fast Expand for Guemchi. So this map allows Zerg to take 3 bases, 2 gases only, but it allows him 3 bases pretty early on, and keeps him going for a little while anyway. And that can be, they can get out of fairly Hydra heavy lurker armies, so it kind of bends them towards that kind of thing. Guemchi has now scouted Arnc. He has a probe there inside. He's going to keep him in there. Arnc has yet to scout. He hasn't sent a drone scout out. So, but you know, Protoss generally go for the Forge Fast Expand, and these days Zergs are just assuming that's going to happen sometimes. Although sometimes it can not be in their favor. Cheese, anyone? Guemchi is going to see that that overpull, and he's going to put down 2 photon cannons just to be safe. An overpull is not too heavy, but it's kind of a mix between a very heavy economic build and a somewhat aggressive build. It's kind of a bit more defensive, I would say, than offensive. You don't get a huge economic disadvantage, but you don't get your forces out that quick either. So yeah, going for a quick hatchery right after that. So we are going to see, at least for now, 2 hatcheries. Maybe see whether he goes for his mineral only as well. Meanwhile, now Guemchi is setting down his Nexus. So yeah, I was talking about the map. For the Protoss, getting that mineral only, it is very easy to harass, especially if you're Protoss. So it's risky for both races, but probe scuff only goes down. There's, interesting enough, there's a probe there in that direction there. Maybe it's to send him forward later as a scout. We're going to see what he uses that for. Guemchi just getting his gas now. So yeah, this map does allow 3 bases for Zerg, and that Protoss, well, I don't know whether the mineral only, at least early on, is not a very good idea for them, I think, because there's not a lot of gas, and it's in severe danger at all times. So yeah, this map is pretty balanced all in all, but you gotta be very careful. Ooh, Guemchi being careful that putting 3 probes is being a bit scared of a run by. Zergling speed is upgraded, and Arnc just now going for limiter only as well, and getting his lair upgrade going. He has only 1 drone mining gas though, so for now I'm thinking Hydralisks, unless he decides to just pump a bunch of Zerglings for now and try to go for a run by. We'll see what he does. All in all, this map, the Zergs have been winning it fairly well. They showed stats a little bit early in the game that, what, 27 to 17? That's pretty heavy. That's pretty Zerg favorite right there. Honestly, my brain has a hard time wrapping itself around it. Why? Because I think Reaver harassment is so powerful on this map that natural is very exposed. The natural is exposed from the back. The mineral only is heavily exposed. So no, yeah, Overlord finally now inside of Guemchi's base, and he does have a Stargate going up, so we're going to see that Corsair out fairly soon. He's going to fly around and scout this, and also going to try to at least take that Overlord that's now inside of his base. Another pylon going down near the mineral only, so he might be thinking of taking that mineral only fairly quickly. We're going to see whether he does that. I'm thinking it might be just a little bit early. Trying to go for a third base so quick. Ooh, probe scout going out, almost getting by, but the Zerglings do manage to catch up. Oh, the probe just dances beautifully. Oh, though, just dies. Spire going up, so we're gonna see 3-hatch Spire, 3-hatch Mutalisk up for Arnc. He has fairly good Mutalisk play. We're gonna see how he manages to harass that natural. As I said, that natural is fairly vulnerable to Mutalisk play as well as Reavers. It goes both ways. I think that might be one of the reasons why Protoss have a hard time on this map, because the natural as well as, of course, the mineral only are both very vulnerable. Fourth, and I'm not sure if I saw the 5th hatchery, but I definitely saw a 4th hatchery going up there. Overlord now finally going to be killed by that Dragoon. That goes up. I don't know if Goon range has been upgraded or not, but I assume it's been on the way. Another gateway now coming up, as well as the Citadel of the Dune was put up just earlier, so we're going to see if this is going to be the Bisu build that we're going to see. Photon cannons going down inside the main, and I think is going to probably put down, he puts one photon cannon down at the front near his natural. We're going to see if he puts it inside of his natural as well to try to counter that Mutalisk class. The Corsair is now going to fly around, is definitely going to see that Spire. One Overlord has been lost for Arnc already. Now, there you go, sees that Spire, knows what's going on in the way. The Scourge are not around yet, so that Corsair could try to harass some Overlords while it's still alive. We're going to see whether Guemchi goes for more Scourge, for more Corsair, I'm sorry, or not. Yes, he is going to, meanwhile, attack that Overlord, and Temple Archives is going up for Guemchi, meanwhile, so this is, at least so far, looking to be the Bisu build. He's going to see if he can't harass those Overlords properly, and then move in with a Dark Templar. Second Overlord now goes down for Arnc, so he's already has a slight troop disadvantage. Scourge now finally out, and Guemchi just does spot though, so he doesn't get caught as he tries to fly, and it doesn't get tossed to the side. I'm going to see if he does manage. I think he will manage to fly this himself into the cannon line before that Scourge meant to do some serious damage. Hydros then, meanwhile, as well as another expansion going up for Arnc. I don't think Guemchi spotted that expansion though, so he's going to have trouble. Cannons are going off inside there. Oh! Of course, they're almost getting spotted. Now, Guemchi is going to take his mineral only. So, countering expansions. Expansion 1 Scourge does go down, and the second one goes down. Although he does get a spot on the cannon line and sees what the Mutalisk are going to have to face. Maybe this isn't actually Mutalisk, just early Spire there for the Scourge. So I think he's actually going to have 5 hatcheries. He already has the 5th hatchery going down as an expansion. It's going to be 4 base Hydras, and actually pretty powerful. Wow, a bunch of those Overlords just grouped together. But the Corsair is not going to try to do any heavy damage, I think, to those Overlords. There are a bunch of Hydras on the ground which can catch it in the air. And an Evolution Shipper, meanwhile, going up for Arnc. The Corsair still getting a bunch of scouting, though. It's not doing too much harassment. If they fly right down to the Threat base, it could be cut. Ooh! Guemchi doing a nice job there, stopping his Corsair and then flying it away, just letting the Scourge fly by. Pretty good job. He probably would have managed to harass those that can't. Wow, a lot of High Templar meanwhile out for Guemchi. Just 1 Dark Templar from what I can see, so he definitely has Storm upgraded and just a lot of High Templar. So instead of going for the standard Bisu build, he's just going to see if there's a lot of Hydras and Overlords around, so he definitely probably knows that he can't do too much damage. 1 Scourge still flying around there, getting scouting information. And the Corsair is going to move out there. Meanwhile, Guemchi is moving out with a few ground forces. He has a Dark Templar there. And, well, there's nothing at this moment to defend his base. He's moving in with a Dark Templar, a few Zealots, as well as a Dragoon that just quickly got killed by those Zerglings. That Overlord is going to go down. Another Corsair flying in. We're going to see that Dark Templar is trying to be taken out, but I think, okay, 1 more Overlord is actually flying in, and we're going to see if this manages to get cleaned out. There was a Scourge that managed to take out 1 Corsair. The Dark Templar is still alive. We're going to see what can damage. All the Zerglings have been killed so far, but those Hydras have moved in time, and that Overlord is definitely not going to get taken out in time to prevent that Dark Templar. The Overlord's still alive. Corsair has almost managed to take it out, just trying to get a few more shots and trying to keep that Dark Templar alive, although I think the Templar is still in a corner. That Sunken is almost up. We're going to see Guemchi does indeed manage to take out the Overlord, so the Dark Templar is going to have free reign, at least for a little while. No more Overlords in there, no detection. We're going to see what he does. He's just attacking the Hydras so far. Arnc still trying to move out his Overlord. There is Overlord speed has now been upgraded, so that Dark Templar is going to be ninja. While a lot of High Templar, meanwhile, for Guemchi, so he's preparing for heavy storms. Maybe you're going to go for a Storm Drop or not. Mulos, meanwhile, out for Arnc. He has not combined those High Templar into Archons, though, so even if they have their storms, they are a little bit danger. And the Natural, meanwhile, has no cannons inside of it. Well, okay, it has to have one cannon, but I don't know if that one cannon is enough to prevent Arnc now moving in. He's going to attack that next. He's going to attack those pros. Also focus on the cannon. The cannon is going to go down fairly quickly, and now there's nothing. The pros forced to run away. There's finally Dragoons and a High Templar now moving in. Decent storm, but going off on his own forces and pros. More Mutas have been killed, though. I think there are 3 or 4 still alive. Lots and lots of High Templar not being morphed at all into Archon, so he's just going to go heavy storms. Mutas still flying around to do some damage. There were some pretty